Welcome back to Champaign, Illinois, Memorial Field, the home of the Fighting Illini. Alongside Rod Smith, I'm Mike Gleason. What a gorgeous afternoon for college football. Blue, sunny skies, expecting temperatures 72 now. They could reach as high as 78 degrees this afternoon. And the wind's only 3 miles per hour. And, of course, as I mentioned, that forecast is a lot of sunshine. A lot of orange in Memorial Stadium this afternoon as we take a look at Illinois State. Rod, what about your keys to the game?
Oh, the keys to the game, if you were a Redbirds fan, they're going to have to make pass plays early and often. If they're not going to be able to line up and run the football, Illinois' depleted but oversized front. And on defense, the Redbirds are going to have to make big plays. They only average about 250 yards across the front four. They're playing against guys that are 300 pounds, 290. They're going to have to play bigger than they actually are. For Illinois, the simple thing for them is just not to shoot themselves in the foot like they did last year with the penalties, jumping off sides, drop passes. They need to play mistake-free football. They also have to find an identity running the football. They tried early in the game to run pulls. They tried to run counters. They ran some sweeps. None of that worked. The second half, they went to direct run, ISO run, and got the ball moving a little bit. But at some point, if you want to put points on the board, you're going to have to be able to go to a run play to get yourselves 4 yards. Or your team can rally around, hey, we're going to run 35 ISO, and that'll always get us 4 yards. But they don't have that play yet. So sometime during this game, they have to establish a running identity.
John Gockman getting ready to tee it up for the Fighting Illini of Illinois. The senior out of Coal City, Illinois. And the deep man back for Illinois State to open things up here this afternoon. It's going to be Demetrius Johnson. Johnson, the transfer out of the University of Minnesota, so he's got a couple of seasons of Big Ten football under his belt as well. Illinois State 1-0. Illinois 0-1. Illinois State with a victory over Drake, and the Fighting Illini of Illinois holding Missouri to 223 yards a week ago, but still came up on the short end of a 22-15 ball game.
You know, this is one of the ways, Mike, where the Redbirds can kind of even the playing field a little bit. The hidden yardage that you find in special teams. They're only averaging 19 yards a return, but here's an opportunity for them to make some hidden yardage right now.
The opening kick is taken at about the 1-yard line, and it's up over the 20, 25, 30, and a good return for Illinois State that time.
Exactly like you said, Mike. We just talked about it. You know, this is an opportunity for these guys to create some advantage, to try to get a few first downs in the kicking game, can maybe help level the playing field. Anytime you have a kickoff outside the 25-yard line, it's a plus.
So Illinois State opening up the ball game with fantastic field position up near the 35-yard line. There's Mike Souza, 6 feet tall, 180 pounds, out of Royal Oaks, California.
Well, you see the Redbirds come out of here already in the no-huddle offense and 4 wide.
First play of the afternoon. Twins at the top of your screen. Souza's going to keep it. Quarterback draw. He's up over the 40, and he's knocked down at about the 42-yard line.
Yeah, you know, when they come out there in the 4 wideouts, they usually like to throw the football, but they surprise them with the quarterback's draw and pick up good yardage.
Well, let's take a look at our starting lineups brought to you by Lincoln Mercury. Check out the new models at LincolnMercury.com. Sharon Edwards opened up the 2003 season with 152 yards last week.
You know, number 80, Dwayne Smith, is a transfer from Illinois and has a lot of speed.
Ramon Barber at the other wideout, taking the place of Joe Watkins, the Auburn transfer now. Second down, 3 yards to go. Souza, play action, rolling to the right side. Open, and it's Dwayne Smith. And he's brought down by Jackson at the 30-yard line.
You know, I really like the game plan that Denver Johnson is using for the Redbirds to come out, run some no-huddle, try to catch the line off balance. Here you see the quarterback back out, make a nice play-action fake, bootleg out, and you throw it to the backside receiver Smith, who's been crossing on the back line for about a 25-yard gain.
Well, Dwayne Smith, 2 catches for 29 yards last week in the victory over Drake. Dwayne Smith, number 2 receiver, last year 39 for 470 yards and 3 touchdowns. Former Fighting Illini. His grandmother passed away this week. They weren't sure what kind of emotional state he'd be in, but he comes up with a 28-yard gain. Souza completes this one as well, and it's Barber still alive down at about the 25-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds.
Yeah, a very nice quick screen to the left. The wide receiver catches the ball and takes it right to the sideline.
Illinois State up front. You have Stegman, 11 starts last year. Stafford Davis, 11 starts. Jeremy Melby, this is his 32nd start. And Jim Ferguson, the only senior on that offensive front.
Well, you look at Scott Moss, defensive end number 90, replacing McBride, who had an ACL injury, who's out. Derek Strong's the best defender, one of the best defenders in the Big Ten up front.
So Scott Moss will get a lot of action because Denver Johnson said Souza will have to roll out beyond the defensive ends to have any success passing the football. Second down, 6 yards to go. First possession of the ball game. Souza swings it out to the outside. It's Barber again. Barber inside the 25-yard line and dropped by Christian Morton at about the 24.
Well, the Redbirds are running a lot of safe passes. You've seen a couple screens here, a bootleg, where even if the route's not open, the quarterback has the option to just keep running.
And defensively, at the linebacker spot for Illinois.
Yeah, Matt Sinclair's another guy who's one of the top linebackers in the Big Ten. He's the emotional fireplug for that ball club.
Travis Mark Jackson, now a senior, saw Christian Morton making the play 2 years ago during the Big Ten championship season. He had a fantastic year, lost his starting spot at one juncture last year. So this is a big year for Morton as far as attracting the NFL scouts. Third down, 3 yards to go. Souza, two-step drop. He's got his man. It's Smith inside the 15-yard line. It's complete. They'll mark it at about the 13.
Well, the Illini, unlike years of past, where they've run a ton of man-to-man, ran a ton of pressure, this ball club's not really a pressure team. The corners aren't man-to-man players. They're more zone players. And when you play a lot of zone, you're going to open up routes underneath. You're going to get some slant. You're going to get that screen that the Redbirds have going already. So they're going to have to tighten up this coverage at some point and get in some man-to-man or get in some press coverage.
So Mike Souza leading the Redbirds down the field on their first possession. A week ago, modest numbers, 8 of 16, just 45 yards passing. Inside the 15, the handoff. And it's Sharon Edwards inside the 10-yard line, so they continue to move the ball.
Yeah, Sharon did a great job there of freezing Matt Sinclair right in the hole there and using his stiff arm to get himself about 3 yards where he really could have been dropped for a loss of 1. The Redbirds obviously know they can't line up and push the Illini off the ball, so they're going to use the spread offense, especially in this first drive. Try to get the Illini off bounds and run some plays inside.
Denver Johnson, a former member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a two-time all-conference performer at Tulsa. Two-step drop, quarterback draw again. Souza inside the 5. He coughs up the football, and Illinois has it in the end zone. So the Redbirds of Illinois State march right down the field on this Big Ten team, only to give it up in the end zone.
Yeah, Mike Souza just trying to do too much there. He made a good move initially to move left and get in the secondary, get into the end zone, but coughed the ball up. Not the way you want to start for Illinois, but they can't feel good about at least moving the football early.
So Souza, a missed opportunity for the Redbirds. It looked like Jackson, Mark Jackson, the senior, jumping out into the end zone. A big turnover to set the tone of this game. So we're scoreless. When we come back, it's Illinois football.
Introducing Lincoln's newest luxury SUV, the 302 horsepower Aviator, the smaller, spirited offspring of Navigator. There are those who travel and those who travel well.
Discover the difference at Lincoln College. Normal.
You can't find a year-end clearance price lower than ours.
Offering in Washington saves you over $10,000 on a new Olds Bravada. Enjoy all-wheel drive, heated leather seats, power windows, locks, and more. It was $37,765. It's now $26,994. The GM commitment, a 5-year, 60,000-mile protection plan or cash alternative, and continued availability of service and parts.
Get the guaranteed lowest price, or we'll make your first payment for you.
Only at Uptring Chevy Old Saab in Washington.
Wow, that really is a low price.
Yeah, absolutely guaranteed.
Welcome back to Champaign, Illinois. There you see the numbers. Scoreless here in the first quarter, but Illinois State missing a golden opportunity. John Butcher leading things for Illinois. Last year, 59% completion, 62% in his starts. He started 7 games, had 21 touchdown passes, leading the Big Ten. First play from scrimmage for the Fighting Illini. Split receivers, twins at the top of your screen. Butcher wants to go upstairs immediately And he has Davis. That's Jason Davis with the completion up near the 25-yard line.
You know, that first play is an example of a concept that they use a ton against. Oh, here we got the replay with Susan coming up the middle on the quarterback draw and just gets stripped. When you have the ball that deep in your opponent's territory, you really want to cover that thing with 2 hands. You cannot turn it over the other opponent's black zone.
Illinois' first possession, 2nd and 5 now. Ball resting at the 25-yard line. And the handoff goes... E.B. Halsey gets the call. Actually, Morris Virgil started against Missouri. He was penciled in as the starter this afternoon, but E.B. Halsey, the freshman, gets the call. Averaged 7.7 yards a carry a week ago. Taking a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Lincoln Mercury. Check out the new models at lincolnmercury.com. Jason Davis, now the fullback.
Yeah, Jason Davis fills in for Kerry Davis, one of the best fullbacks in the nation. But Jason Davis is almost a clone of him.
John Boobin in his 3rd year starting. Duke Preston in his 2nd year at center. And then Bucky was one of the top guards in the Big Ten. He moved over to the right tackle spot to fill the vacancy by Tony Passos, who's now in the National Football League. Carry up near the 30-yard line.
Yeah, we talked at the beginning about Illini having to find a way to get their run identity taken care of. And here you see them run a direct run on the first play from scrimmage. The 3rd play from scrimmage, they run a pull play. That doesn't work. They've got to find a way to move the football on the ground effectively to be good this year.
Well, Steve Weatherford into punt for the Fighting Illini. He did not kick against Missouri. And it's a good long kick inside the 20-yard line. And he coughs up the football, but it's going to be down. Great coverage by Illinois, but that football should have been marked down inside the 15-yard line. Yeah,
when the receiver, when the punt returner caught the football, he was knocked to the ground, and the ground caused the fumble. Even without replay, you can clearly see that ball is going right back out to the 15-yard line.
And of course, the halo rule, or lack thereof, comes into effect here.
Yeah, but he didn't call fair catch, and you got to give the kids a chance to play. As a former defensive back, I want to see guys get hit, Mike. Yeah, it was a big hit there, but the ball came out after he hit the ground. That's not a fumble. Get another look at it here. Great timing by the gunner, number 3, making the tackle there. But I still think the ball came out on the ground.
That was Andrew Poposi back to receive the punt. Show you how active their linebackers are. Poposi starts on the left side in the linebacking crew. Ron Turner, 31 and 39. Ron Turner.
You know, and that was Eric McGoey, number 3, making the tackle. He had 6 tackles last week against Missouri, the starting strong safety. And as a former corner, I can tell you it's no fun covering kicks when you're a starter.
While the ball was loose, we had an inadvertent whistle on the play. By rule, that caused the ball to become dead. Also by rule, we go back to the previous spot, 4th down.
Well, that's interesting. We're coming back to do it all over again.
Yeah, the inadvertent whistle will negate almost any play. Because the players can't be responsible for what happened as a result of the play when there's an inadvertent whistle. I mean, the play's dead right away, start all over again. Unfortunate for Illinois, we had a chance to score a touchdown on that fumble. The ball goes back to the spot, they're going to punt it again.
And I stand corrected way up here in the booth. It looked like he had possession of the ball, and he fumbled it when he hit the ground. And, of course, the ground can cause the fumble, but obviously I was mistaken, so that was a live football. But we'll come back and do it all over again because of the inadvertent whistle. Let's take another look at it, Rod.
Well, you see McGoy come down to make the tackle, and I thought the ball was out right there on the ground. See, there he kind of throws it over his head. Now, that was a dead ball on the spot.
Weatherford, his 2nd kick. It's a high kick, not quite as long. There's the fair catch at the 20 by Andrew Poposi. So the Redbirds of Illinois State will have their 2nd possession from the 20-yard line.
Yeah, a wise decision there, Poposi, to call the fair catch on this one. Let's not take another shot in the head, huh?
Scoreless in Champaign. We're back with more right after this.
Rates are so low. Rates are so low.
Rates are now even lower. Once again,
Low, 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 low.
lower.
Low.
Rates haven't been this low in 45 years. Yes. Yes.
Working hard to be the only bank you'll ever need.
choose from all the options.
You have to know what you're doing.
Mike at Hampton, he knows.
For those who will dream a bigger dream and pursue a new path, Bank Plus will be there for you. We promise.
These days, there are a lot of new appliance brands popping up. Stick with American made. Stick with Frigidaire. Now, Frigidaire is less at UFS. Really.
Play. Game on.
Fans in Memorial Stadium this afternoon, Illinois State. Their second possession now starting at the 20-yard line. Their first started at the 35. They marched all the way down the field against Illinois, only to fumble into the end zone. High formation now for the Redbirds. And the give is to Sharon Edwards, and he's met at the line of scrimmage. He has nowhere to go.
Yeah, the Illini did a great job of stopping the run. It's still amazing that they're still playing the zone defense, and that they haven't converted over to more of a blitz package where they're going to place a man-to-man on the outside. Considering that first drive, they had the ball thrown all over them, and the quarterback draw in addition to those screen plays.
Interesting, considering the fact that Illinois held Missouri to 223 total yards. They really kept Brad Smith in check. Smith came up with a couple of big plays to beat him. But here's Mike Souza moving it all the way down the field. On his first possession, having a couple of big pass plays as well, and he had a very, very mediocre afternoon throwing the football a week ago against Drake.
Yeah, thanks to Sharon Edwards, they would have got beat by Drake. They did a great job running the football. They have 4 returning starters on the offensive line for the Redbirds, so you'd expect them to be able to move the ball in their conference, but playing against a Big Ten opponent is as solid as the Illini are up front. They're going to have problems just lining up and running the football. I don't like that last play by Denver Johnson, but the basic ISO run play, the left side, you're not going to get much with that. They're going to have to be a little more creative, put the football in the air often and early if they're going to have a chance to win the football game.
Souza played for his dad, Larry, at junior college in California, passed for 2,800 yards and 30 touchdowns, came into Illinois State last year, and they were expecting to redshirt him, but he won the job in camp, and so they took the red shirt and threw it out the window and said, let's go play some football. Only the second meeting between these two schools, even though 55 miles separate the two institutions. Way back in 1944, Illinois came out victorious 79-0. Boy, 1944, I think Army was the top college football team.
They certainly were. They certainly were. Army was the #1 team in the land in 1944.
Illinois State piled up 282 yards rushing in their opener against Drake. Only 53 total yards through the air, no touchdowns, but Souza again. Big gainer to Dwayne Smith for 28 yards on that first possession. And Smith, of course, a former member of this Illini football team. Matter of fact, Smith and Mark Jackson, they still stay in touch. Matter of fact, they talk weekly.
Look for blitz here. Man-to-man coverage on the outside.
Big fullback Kevin Krieger in the backfield. Here's the lob pass to Barber. Goes up. He can't pull it in. And it's incomplete.
Well, the Redbirds, if anything, are aggressive on defense, and they are aggressive on offense. They saw man-to-man press coverage and didn't waste any time throwing the fade route. They didn't try to get inside or run a quick in or a quick out. They went for all the marbles in the home run play. They didn't get it. And on defense, they're doing a lot of blitzing. They're going to have to take some chances to win a football game, and they're doing it.
Redbirds last week, just 4 of 14, 29%. Third down and 9 yards to go down their second possession. Twins to the top of the screen. Quick drop and looking for Dwayne Smith. At about the 27-yard line, overshoots his man, and that'll bring up a kicking situation for the Redbirds now.
Yeah, if the Redbirds find themselves in 3rd and 10 all day long, they're going to have a tough time getting it done. They're going to have to find a way to get a positive play on first down in order to stay in this thing.
Christian Morton, the deep man for the Illini, just inside his 45-yard line. Troy Maskell. In the kick now, the sophomore from Illinois. 39 players, so the Redbirds hail from Illinois. 64 for the Fighting Illini. It bounces inside the 50, and they get a Redbird roll inside the 40. It'll be down at about the 41.5-yard line.
You had a good day punting last week. You don't want to punt 8 times, but if you average 42.8 yards a punt, that's pretty good for college.
And Denver Johnson saw him kick a long of 57 a week ago. So Denver Johnson said, in a perfect world, during the telephone conversation we had with him this week. Perfect world, he probably doesn't play this football game. It's obviously a revenue game for Illinois State, but he says when we get out that bus, we're going to strap him on and we're going to play to win.
Yeah, Denver Johnson, seems over the phone, at least, to be a very competitive man. And the Redbirds are a little outclassed here as far as the ability of the athletes, but they're going to give it a go here.
So Butcher, second possession, quick drop. He has his man. And it's complete to Mark Kornfeld, who had one catch against Missouri, an acrobatic catch at that, and he's up near the 50, dropped at about the 49-yard line. First down, Illinois.
Yeah, and Mike Kornfeld ran right through Carvian Daly's tackle there. Daly came up with good technique and got low, but like I said, sometimes the line guys are a little bigger.
Check the starting lineups brought to you by Lincoln Mercury. Check out the new models at LincolnMercury.com. Defensively for the Redbirds, Ray Robinson could be the most underrated player in the Gateway Conference.
He's a good football player, but at 250, they're going to have a tough time holding up today.
How about Boomer Grigsby?
Boomer Grigsby can play linebacker anywhere in the Big Ten. He's that good. I don't know how he got to Illinois State. He should be playing at Michigan or Ohio State. He's that good.
Kavari Daly, the Rover, is a freshman transfer from Auburn, so he went to the SEC school, arrived at Illinois State, played his first game, and came up with 10 tackles in that victory over Drake.
He's got a lot of talent. I think at Auburn he just got caught in the numbers game where they have a lot of highly skilled skill position players, and he just couldn't find his way to up the depth chart.
So the penalty flag pushes the ball way inside the 40 to about the 35-yard line. Here's the Kerry Halsey again. A lot of running room a week ago. Not so much that time. He's inside the 35, dropped at about the 34. We're at Memorial Stadium in Champaign, Illinois. It's the home opener for the fall of 2003 for the Fighting Illini. Alongside Rod Smith, the former NFL corner, I'm Mike Gleason. Great to have you on board. It's a beautiful, beautiful afternoon for college football. Actually, coming back to the Midwest, I would expect it to be maybe 2 or 3 or 4 degrees cooler than it is. It's about 72 degrees. There you see Illinois State with 66 yards already in the ball game. The give to Halsey. Halsey hits the left side, and he's dropped at about the 32-yard line.
Well, the Illini still searching for that run identity. They've come with a couple direct runs, and they gained 4 yards. Probably not exactly what they wanted, but at least they're trying to commit themselves to moving the football on the ground.
Some of the big guys up front. John Boobin, third year. Mentioned Bucky Babcock, one of the top guards in the Big Ten, number 70, moved over to the right tackle spot this year. Interestingly enough, though, last week, they both had penalties down the stretch. Twin receivers to the left now, Kornfeld in motion.
Empty backfield.
Hayden to the bottom of your screen, the top junior college player last year. Butcher chased from the pocket. He'll throw this one inside the 40, looking inside. Kornfeld, touchdown! 32 yards to Mark Kornfeld, the junior out of St. Louis.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Mike, I want to see this one in the replay because the way he went up with that ball, he made a great catch, but I thought he may not have gotten both feet or a foot down to make that a touchdown. Let's take another look at that. The Redbirds on the blitz here, bringing 2 guys off the right corner, force the quarterback out to the right-hand side, who makes a great play with the receiver releasing back. But does he get his foot down? I think he does. That's a touch.
Kornfeld, one catch last week, 2 this afternoon, a touchdown. John Gottman drills it through. And the Fighting Illini at the 7:23 mark of quarter number 1 from Champaign. They open up a 7-0 lead over the Redbirds on the receiving end of a John Butcher touchdown. It's Mark Kornfeld.
It's not like I don't have a brain. I'm a smart, intelligent guy.
I'd put my heart and soul into a good opportunity.
I've got the courage and determination to be successful.
I just want to feel at home and secure at the job that I love. We need to go to Royal Publishing. There's no place like Royal. There's no place like Royal. There's no place like Royal.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Extreme Motors in Bloomington. Dan O'Brien, you've done a lot of crazy things. I've known you for a lot of years. You've gone nuts this weekend.
We really have every make, every model, over 500 vehicles, Dan. Cars for as little as $999. We've got no payment. No payments until next year. We've got brand new vans. We got brand new cars for as little as $7,900 with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
You won't find a better selection. You won't find that your deal is worth more than this weekend. Extreme Motors in Bloomington.
I really like my job. I meet a lot of people looking and searching for the perfect home. They just don't know how to describe it. But when we find it, that's it. That's the one. There's no question. Dad was a builder and Mom was a realtor, so being brought up in the business gives me the experience to know exactly what went into a house. It can be scary looking for a home. I just really enjoy my job.
Top of the scoreboard, 7-0. 4-play, 63-yard drive. Take another look at the touchdown pass.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he had possession there. I think he bobbled that ball when he hit the ground.
He had it.
That's not a touchdown, man.
He had it.
You're not going to get that from a defensive back.
Gockman with the kick. Taken at the goal line. It's Sharon Edwards this time. And he's up over the 30. First time he returned the kickoff up to the 35. This time he's dropped to the 32. So two solid returns by Sharon Edwards, the 6-foot senior out of Uniondale, New York.
You know, when you talk about the Illini and special teams, a way for them to get hit in yards. It's always a way you can get another edge on teams. The Illini seem to be stuck on blocks. You know, they're not shedding the guys blocking them getting off.
There you see a $147 it took for John Butcher to move his team 63 yards. A week ago, he was 4 for 4 to open up against Missouri, 3 for 3 for 49 yards here this afternoon. Sharon Edwards, the single setback behind Mike Souza. Edwards, 152 yards rushing a week ago against Drake. Let's play action. Souza, plenty of time going deep, and it's almost picked off by Christian Morton.
Yeah, Morton was third in the Big Ten in 2001 in pass breakouts with 24. He also returned 2 interceptions for touchdowns. He's a talented defensive back. Souza runs a little play-action pass against man-to-man coverage, but it's man-free, so you have a safety in the middle of the field who's going to get over there and help, and that allows number 5 Morton to close on the outside shoulder of the receiver and make a play on the football.
Good coverage that time, but Ramon Barber, 3 catches last week, actually filling in for Joe Watkins, who played 2 years at Auburn. Watkins is a big-time player. Denver Johnson says he's got a tight hamstring, and he's going to need him down the stretch this year in the Gateway Conference. Didn't want to risk it today. Edwards swung out in the flats, and good play by Christian Morton coming up from his cornerback spot.
Yeah, Morton again making another fine play. You know, he was a second-team All-Big Ten performer in 2001 before he lost his job in 02. He probably got a little cocky, a little complacent there with his title and didn't get it done. They're doing a much better job, Illinois, on this quick screen of the receivers. They've started to kind of understand how that's going to happen, and when you see the tackle block down, you know to get moving sideways. If you're an inside player, linebacker, or lineman, you can get out and make a play on that.
Souza facing another third down situation. 50% of the afternoon, 3rd and 11. The ball resting at the 30. Straight drop. This is something they didn't expect him to do. Now he's flushed from the pocket. Illinois giving chase, and he throws it incomplete. Looking for his big tight end coming over the middle, Mike Larson, but he wisely threw it away, but there is a penalty flag down.
Yeah, I'm guessing it may be a man downfield. When the quarterback runs out of the pocket like that, often the big linemen try to get downfield and get a piece of somebody, and they cross the line of scrimmage, and that's a penalty.
There's Denver Johnson in his 4th year, 16 and 18.
Downfield. Penalty's been declined. 4th down.
The Illini defense rising to the cause, making some plays against the quick screen and the play-action pass that they weren't making on that first drive. Try to keep the Redbirds in 3rd and long and take advantage of it by employing a nickel and dime defense that is very capable for the Illini.
Morton deep again for Illinois, just inside the 40 at the 39. Troy Maskell, his 2nd punt of the afternoon, had a good kick. The first time, he kept it away from Morton. Gets this one off. It's a low line drive kick. Morton at the 36-yard line. He's got some running room. He turns the corner, but he can't quite get there. Coming up to make the stop for Illinois State, it's number 46, and that's Boomer Grigsby. Boomer Grigsby, 179 tackles last year, #1 in the country. That's 16 per game, Rod.
Yeah, Boomer Grigsby's a guy that could have played for any team in the Big Ten. He's got a ton of talent. You see him keep his outside shoulder free, make a tackle. Now, he doesn't make that tackle. Morton's looking at the end zone right there because they had everybody else sealed off.
You go back the last 3 years for Grigsby, 292 tackles. Now John Butcher, 3 for 3 in the passing department so far this afternoon, sitting on a 7-0 lead. Take over with good field position. The ball at the Illinois 42-yard line. I formation, play action. Going upstairs and going deep, and it's Hayden. He had it, and he dropped it inside the 50, 25.
Yeah, now you see Bucher trying to get up top there, and he had his man open a little bit, but he has a tendency in his delivery to kind of lean back a little bit. See him leaning back and kind of throw it off his back foot, so the ball sails a little bit. The receiver can't extend and run across the field and catch a football. It gives the defensive back time to get to it. See, if that ball's out in front and more toward the sideline, that's a catch and a touchdown right there.
That is a catchable ball, though, Rod, but Tyler Larrick doing a good job coming up from his safety spot, the 6'1 junior transfer from Salinas, and they keep it on the ground. They're up over the 45, dropped that about the 47-yard line.
Yeah, that DB Harris running the football. He's really excited the fans here at Illinois. He came in the spring and worked with the team. Oh, that was Virgil. Okay, Virgil came in, worked in the spring, and they've got very good backs here for the lineup.
Morris Virgil, the junior from right here in Urbana, Illinois. Interesting story how he went from home to home as a foster child. We'll touch on that later in the broadcast. Single setback now, 3rd and 5 for Illinois at the 46. Bucher goes upstairs, has his man again. It's Kornfeld. That is probably the identical catch he had against Missouri for 18 yards last week.
It is. They go to four wide, and they run Kornfeld up the field about 5 yards and then make him out. Now here Bucher leans forward a little bit, gets that ball through with some velocity on, and Kornfeld makes the catch. He made the exact same grab, like you said, against Missouri last week. He's not a real speedy guy, so don't look for him down the field. But on those short intermediate routes, he can be dangerous.
One-time big-time quarterback out of St. Louis. Ron Turner, the Big Ten Coach of the Year 2 years ago, trying to right the ship. He said they lost their focus last year when they came out of the gate, something they try to rectify here in 2003. 1st and 10, I formation, and the give is to E.B. Halsey, cuts it back, and he's down near the 41-yard line. Good cutback by the freshman.
Yeah, for Halsey, only being 5'11", 190 pounds, at least listed, he runs in a very physical manner. Reminds me a little bit of Emmitt Smith, that he always runs low to the ground. He has his pads out in front of him, and he initiates contact. I think that's why, as he gains a little more weight, you can't go through a Big Ten schedule at 185 pounds. But if he gains some weight, he has a chance to be a very, very good football player for the Illini for years to come.
See, the 222 all-purpose. He rushed for 139 on 20 carries, and he averaged 7.7 on pass receptions last week. Here's the rush. Bucher right down the middle. Kelvin Hayden, touchdown, Illinois. 41 yards that time. Kelvin Hayden right down the middle.
You know what? That's a mistake, Mike, on the Redbirds on defense. You know, you've got to figure, if you're going to blitz 5 guys, there should be a post safety. We talked about it in the open that John Bucher does a great job in play action pass. Somehow the free safety ran up either in blitz or on the run and left number 2 out there by himself with Hayden, which is a mismatch.
So John Bucher with a couple of scoring strikes. Kelvin Hayden, the National Junior College Player of the Year, has his 2nd touchdown grab of 2003, and John Gottman drills it through the uprights again for Illinois. And with 4:28 to go in the first quarter, the Fighting Illini of Illinois on top by a couple of touchdowns, now 14-0. Okay, Mr. DB, take us through this again. Now, why was he so wide open?
Well, John Bucher makes a great run fake, and the free safety that was supposed to be standing right in the middle of the field to help his corner on the inside of the route ends up getting sucked in on the play fake. So Oliver never had a chance to cover this route because he's fully expecting help on the inside. And when he didn't find it there, you saw him after the play come back to the huddle with his hands spread. Like, well, you know, what's going on here? Where's my free safety?
There you see the numbers. A minute 43, 5 plays, 58 yards. This coming on the heels of a 4-play, 63-yard drive for the first touchdown. Both scoring strikes for John Bucher. So Bucher with 21 touchdowns last year in his first as the Illinois quarterback picks up the number 2 and number 3 here in 2003.
Well, the play call by Turner in the play action fake, has had some guys running wide open. But I'll tell you what, as a quarterback, especially on the move, to complete those balls is something that you've got to do. There are a lot of guys running free in college football, and they never get the football because the quarterback just aren't adept at laying that ball over the right shoulder. You see John Bucher make a couple of throws here, which are NFL-type throws.
Edwards and Demetrius Johnson, the deep end. This one's going to go to Demetrius Johnson, the former Minnesota Golden Gopher. Takes it out about his 3. Has a little bit of running room. He's up near the 20-yard line, and he's smothered by a host of Illini tacklers.
Illinois being a little bit more aggressive there in their coverage, getting off of blocks. I'm sure they got a mouthful from the special teams coach that, hey, we can't stand on blocks. We got to use our hands and separate from guys and get to the ball carrier. And this is the worst field position the Redbirds have had all day due to good coverage from the Illini.
So Mike Souza trying to get things going, trying to duplicate what they did in the first possession against Illinois, who pretty much shut down Missouri. They marched right down against the Fighting Illini on their first possession from the 35, fumbling it into the end zone. Now trying to get things going. Souza, two-step drop, and it's knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Gilstrap out of Columbus, Ohio. Charles Gilstrap, 6'3", 290-pound senior out of DeSales High School. He's played in a few championship games in his day for Bob Jacoby in Columbus.
Yeah, he avoids the cut block there, using his hands and bats it down with his outside arm and leg. That's a very athletic play for a man his size.
So Derek Strong, Charles Gilstrap, Jeff Ruffin, and of course Mike O'Brien normally starting. O'Brien out with the torn ACL. 2nd and 10 now for Souza. Cuts it back in. He's got some running room. He's up over the 30-yard line. Brought down by McGoey. So you look at players like Kornfeld, who made that catch. McGoey. These are guys who have switched positions and are playing something else, but getting a lot of playing time. You really have to be happy for players like that.
Yeah, that's a popular theme here in Illinois, that they move a lot of quarterbacks to receiver, defensive backs to receiver, receivers to corner. You know, they do a great job with this coaching staff of trying to get guys in position where they can be successful, no matter what the position is.
McGoey switched from receiver to safety midway through last year. He was an extremely talented possession receiver. Give us to Demetrius Johnson. He's got some room. Finds a lane up across the 40. And Illinois State now with back-to-back first downs on the last two plays.
You know, with 4 returning starters on the offensive line, you've got to figure the Redbirds are going to be able to get ahead on guys. You see them run the stretch play to the right, get penetration into the backfield, and get all the way to the second level. You know, that's
Halsey, the single setback. Plenty of time. He's going to drop it out to Haywood, the senior fullback, and there's some helmets flying and a host of white jerseys at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, I love it. That's Grisby, my man, going up there and laying the wood to the running back. You got to like that. This guy really should be playing in the Big Ten somewhere. A tough physical guy, at 6'1", 250 pounds. I mean, he has the body, of a Big Ten linebacker. See him square up and hit the guy, and if it comes coming in there and making tackles. It's a love as a cornerback to come in and get a piece of that running back after the middle linebacker's already got him locked down.
Now, Grigsby, the first sophomore in Gateway League history to win Defensive Player of the Year. They keep it on the ground, and this time the give is to Morris Virgil, and he's down near the 30. Another first down for Illinois. This out-of-town scoreboard update is brought to you by SBC Yahoo DSL. Get what you need faster. Michigan Wolverines on top of the Cougars in Ann Arbor in the first quarter. And look at that, BC on top of Penn State big time.
Wow, and you consider Wake Forest beat Boston College last week. What's Jopa doing up there?
NC State trailing Wake Forest. NC State has the Buckeyes in Columbus coming up next week as well.
Maybe that Wake Forest team is better than people think, huh?
You think maybe NC State might be looking ahead?
They might be looking to throw the Buckeyes.
Touchdown, Illinois! Beautiful touch pass by Butcher that time. If you're like Morris Virgil coming out the back door, is it Hurst?
It's Hurst. It's Hurst. If you're a corner player, it's a great route and a great throw by Butcher. I mean, look at where this ball comes out. He leans forward into the throw so he gets good velocity on the ball. This is over the outside shoulder of the receiver. It's almost impossible to defend for a corner, especially when you've got a 6'4" wide receiver going against a 5'9" defensive back.
And Gottman. So John Gottman is perfect. He's 3 for 3 on the afternoon. And Lonnie Hurst gets his first touchdown as a college football player. The 6'3", 192-pound freshman out of Detroit. An accomplished pianist. Comes down. He had 5 catches, averaged 15 yards a catch against Missouri a week ago. And Lonnie Hurst is in the books with his first of many, many touchdowns, I'm sure, over the next 4 years for Illinois.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, this is a great, so they run the fade route versus man-to-man coverage. The Redbirds have to take chances on defense to stay in it. You leave a little corner out there with Hurst in one-on-one coverage, and you're going to get the fade route. Even if number 25 had his head around and tried to make a play in the football, I doubt he could have. It was that good of a throw.
Lonnie Hurst hopes to be a stockbroker someday. At a 31 in his ACT. LaRon Edwards back to receive for the Redbirds, and John Butcher, who completed 70% against Missouri a week ago, is now 7 of 8 for 133 yards and 3 scoring strikes.
Maybe Hurst wants to wait until we get another cut in interest rates, right? Before he goes that stockbroker route. We don't want to wait a little while before we get this thing turned around.
Here's the kick by Gockman. He's already had a busy afternoon.
Yes, he has.
Sharon Edwards at the goal line. Jukes at the 15. He's up near the 20. And a good, solid hit that time by Brad Haywood, the backup fullback for Illinois.
Yeah, Sharon Williams is just starting to get some playing time now, later on in his career. But he's got good moves and he's elusive.
So Mike Souza and company now down 21-0. And as they go into the locker room or possibly take that bus ride back to normal this afternoon, they're going to relive that first drive over and over in their heads when Souza is headed for the end zone. He coughed up the football inside the 5. Single setback. Twins on the top of your screen. One step drop. It's complete. It's out to Barber. Barber has some running room. And it should be a first down for Illinois State.
Well, knowing the capabilities of Souza, they're doing a fantastic job by putting him in positions where he can be successful. And that's not throwing the ball down the field with deep out cuts and that kind of thing. He doesn't have the arm strength to make those routes work. You know, but he can dump the ball off in the flat. He can make good decisions with the football and not turn it over, minus a fumble he had. But at least in the throwing game, you know, he has a chance to make some plays to medium to short passing game if he makes good decisions.
Souza rushed for 5 touchdowns a year ago, passed for 8. Design play, quarterback draw again. He's had success with that play. He's up to about the 35-yard line.
Yeah, you know, the quarterback draw works a lot better after you've completed some balls down the field. You know, but they're going to stay with their game plan, you know, which is to run conservative runs, try to get it in second and medium and give him a chance to make a play.
Well, Denver Johnson said he was a headsy quarterback, has to be more consistent throwing the football this year. He looked good on his first couple of possessions. Johnson says he can run as well as anyone at any level quarterbacking, but a drop back, a pocket passer, he is not. Goes upstairs that time looking for Dwayne Smith inside the 50. It's overshot. Falls incomplete. It's going to bring up another third down for the Redbirds.
You know, both corners on that play moved up. Morton and Jordan moved up into man-to-man coverage and played press coverage. And I was always taught to use one arm in the jam. Both corners here just used 2 hands, and were both very successful. The reason why that play was incomplete is because the cornerback got a good jam on the wide receiver and almost pushed him flat out of bounds.
Minute 10 to go in the first 15 minutes of play here from Champaign in the home opener for 2003. 21-0 for Illinois. 3 touchdown strikes for John Butcher already this afternoon. It's 3rd down and 6. They can try to develop that screen, and Souza wisely throws it into the dirt. There's the penalty flag. And the official now talking things over with Souza. It could be intentional grounding. He didn't leave that pocket.
Yeah, I disagree with this call because there was they were trying to set up a screen to the left, and there was a back right there.
Quarterback under duress, still in the pocket. Grounded the ball at the player's feet. No attempt to complete. Intentional grounding. Spot foul. Loss of down.
Well, the loss of down means 4th down for Denver Johnson.
Yeah, they're trying to set up a screen to the left here. And, you know, he feels too much pressure to let the screen sniffed out. You know, he throws it in the ground here, but the quarterback's got to have a way to bail out even when he's inside the pocket.
So Souza heads to the sidelines. Christian Morton goes back deep for Illinois again. And he's at the 45, so field possession. And Morton gets closer and closer as he gets ready to field Troy Maskell's kick, which he will. Or he won't. Looks like he called for the fair catch. Maybe the sun got in his eyes. It looked like he wanted it. He backed off. The ball hit at the 40. He gets a Redbird bounce down to about the 28-yard line.
Well, a great job of the Illini defense there. I mean, they're looking at 2nd and 5 and end up, you know, 4th and 1,000,000. So a great job of getting the Redbirds backed up.
So Maskell, who had a 57-yard punt against Drake, kicked that one 52 yards. Averaged about 44 yards a kick last week. And it pushes Illinois back inside the 30. So this time John Butcher won't have quite the field possession. But you look at his numbers, 7 of 8, 133 yards, 3 touchdowns. Not a bad curtain raiser for the home season in 2003. They keep it on the ground. It's E.B. Halsey. And he's hit by Grigsby.
Yeah, Grigsby, the inside linebacker, reads the flow to the left-hand side, moves out, steps back in, and makes a solid tackle. He really is impressive. You look at him on film, he keeps his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage. He plays low, he delivers a blow, and he plays with good strength.
As a matter of fact, Grigsby, who led the nation with 179 tackles, didn't even surface on the Buck Buchanan list until the last week of the season. He finished third in the voting, and now he returns as the leader for that Buck Buchanan Award. Butcher, plenty of time, goes upstairs and finds his man, and it's complete. Up on the far sidelines, Adiamo gets his first catch of the afternoon.
Yeah, on one side of the field with the play action fake, they've got the post route that they scored on earlier in the game. On the opposite side, they've got the deep out cut, and the corners, as you can understand, playing a little softer now after giving up that last touchdown on the fade route. He's playing a little soft. Hopefully he'll get more aggressive as the game goes on. He's going to have to tighten that coverage up and make some plays on that. It could be a long day.
Adiamo, I said his first grab of the afternoon, actually his first grab of the season. Yeah, they swing it out to the near side. It's Kornfeld. And Kornfeld cuts it back.
Pass is caught by number.
Dropped at about the 47-yard line, possibly the 48 for Illinois.
Yeah, Kornfeld, the slowest of the wide receivers there. They give him a touch there with the screen. Good football player, next quarterback.
Mark Kornfeld already with a touchdown reception, 1 of 3 for John Butcher. We played 15 minutes of football. John Butcher, 3 scoring strikes. That one, the first to Kornfeld. It's 21-0, the Fighting Illini on top of the Redbirds.